Okay, now Barry Tate and Rebecca Sherrick and Gene Crimmy and Aurora University and the Advent Christian Conference. We got to understand something. What's going on in Israel is the biggest Holocaust on planet Earth right now. We Christians, especially we Advent Christians, who were raised in the knowledge that the Europeans that called themselves Jews only did so after the 8th century, long after the Bible was written. And they were only told they had to now practice Judaism because of Genghis Khan and just because of that crazy European history that the whole planet is being torn apart by. But it's all for the oil guys. So all of the major Holocausts that have taken place, including the current Holocaust, which is the Holocaust of the Palestinian people, and all of the other Holocausts that's going on, all for the oil guys. And remember, oil never should have been used for automobiles or plastics. And it's obvious we are destroying the planet. And all you have to do is listen to Gene Crimmy. All of his ideas will save the planet, and he's only one silly guy. But listen to me. Barry Tate, Rebecca Sherrick, Aurora University. We can save the planet with truth. We have to help the Palestinian people right now. The truth is the truth. The very ones that set up Israel also set up Nazi Germany. Standard Oil, it's always about the evil, evil, evil oil empire. We can throw seeds in the ground, Rebecca Sherrick, and in 6 months we can be almost off oil. We get Scott Palmer to start telling the truth about the shadow government. We're a long ways to getting there. Students, I'm sorry. You guys got to sit around the Capitol. 3 million of you. You got to put curtains up so they don't see what each of them is doing, because they are getting murdered. They know they'll be well stoned. They know that they will be well stoned if they don't go along with Israel. You know, Israel probably has a nuclear device planted somewhere in the United States, set to go off if we don't do exactly what they say. I have a feeling that that's what's going on. Okay, but 9/11, all we have to do is, Rebecca Sherrick, all you have to do is say why Gene Crimmy believes what he does. You don't have to believe it, but if I at least get my point across and can be heard by the president of Aurora University saying, well, this is why he just says that Sir Isaac Newton should be listened to, not Dick Cheney. Because the laws of physics were broken about, not 1 million times, but, 1 or 2 less than 1 million times. So Dick Cheney, we know he's in on it because it's settled, so we got settled science. 9/11 is settled science. Those buildings came down the way settled science says they came down, the way the architects say they came down, the way the engineers say they came down, not the way Dick Cheney says they came down. We know because of Dick Cheney's testimony that Dick Cheney's in on 9/11, and we know that Larry Silverstein's in on it, and we know the Israelis are in on it, all from testimony that happened. So let's solve 9/11. And here's how we do it. It's settled science for Gene Crimmy. All I'm asking is that the school understand that someone who wants to be the biggest donor in the history of Aurora University would like to be heard on this one topic. And Gene Crimmy does things that are a little different and has different outcomes for some strange reason. You know, my earring and my sandal. My guitar strap, strapless guitar strap. You ever heard that term before? Strapless strap. First one in history. Came from this guy's head at the same, with using the same technique that he used for his Teva sandal. Help Gene Crimmy help this planet. Barry Tate, it's just the truth versus lies. Rebecca Sherrick, truth versus lies. What Scott Palmer did is so reprehensible. And what my wife did to break a marriage vow and love, you know, she broke some sort of a love thing in her life. She broke part of destiny or something, just like Scott did, because Scott went from being like me. So Scott was knowledgeable, so he used his knowledge to be unpatriotic. Because they got something on him. Well, it's obvious what they got on him and Denny Astor. So it's obvious what they have on Scott. But now it doesn't matter. Scott, you're not going to be alive long enough to matter. No matter what, you and I can have two of the greatest reputations on planet Earth to people 200 years from now. Wouldn't you rather people that are 200 years smarter? If your side loses and my side wins, people will then we'll go back to education and treating each other well and taking care of the planet. Your side has to lose, Scott, in order to do that. But wouldn't you rather be a hero to our relatives 200 years from now? Scott Palmer. Sue Palmer, help him. Help him, Sue. Rebecca Sherrick, help him. And Joyce Studley, help me. And help Pam Locker. Help her to find, you know, a good rooming situation at at some kind of women's penitentiary where she belongs.